Luisito Comunica is attacked for talking about Mexico. And really, please, let's take a look at this. Claudia Sheinbaum calls Luisito Comunica a liar and sends a message to influencers. Mexico, the president dismissed the criticism from people not involved in politics. Oh, let's see what she said.
Now there are communicators, as they call them, influencers who used to talk about other things and now talk about politics. And half of what they say is a lie. Well, people know how to tell the difference.
Oh my god, unbelievable. Look, Claudia wasn't the only person who criticized Luisito Comunica. Here we can also see this other person who said terrible things about him. We're going to dig a little deeper into this in a moment. But first, I want to remind you what Luisito Comunica said that made listen.
No way, I'm watching the news about what's happening in Mexico right now. Damn, no, it's terrifying, scary. Honestly, I was totally disconnected. I was in the jungle and all that. At the airport, I open Instagram and see news about what's happening in my country. No, it's horrible. It's like a horror movie, that...
Of course, and it's a reality. I mean, I don't know where the lie or the fake news or the disinformation is. Wasn't it a total chaos? Didn't it show that organized crime really has total control of the country? That was clear and proven.
I mean, no, what's going on? Who's in charge of that crap? Damn, man, it hurts, girl, seeing your country in those conditions. No, it's a war zone. Damn, seriously, I'm shocked with my heart broken. It's, no, really awful, guys. Seriously, take care of yourselves, at least from what I see right now in the news, and it looks terrible.
Of course. And there's something very important. What happened in Mexico was so brutal that it became world news. I mean, it went around the world. These images, the videos we saw from Mexico, the things that many of my own followers, the people who are watching me right now, experienced firsthand. Well, all of that was seen by people in Japan, in South Korea, in China. I'm telling you, it was worldwide. The news. Take good care of yourselves.
A lot?
A lot, and well. These were the words that outraged all these people. I wonder, where's the fake news? Where's the misinformation? Where's that thing about more than half of what he says being a lie? I mean, isn't it true that Luisito Comunica said it? Didn't this happen? Of course it did. We all saw it. But even so, look, they just attacked. And besides, Claudia Sheinbaum says she didn't discuss politics before, but now she suddenly does. Let's see. Luisito is a person who usually travels around the world and is someone who, because of his topics, constantly tends to touch on political issues. He tries not to be too controversial, he tries to be politically correct, but almost always, even if he tries to avoid it, he has to touch on it. It's that simple and straightforward. But anyway, I want to show you this comment. This guy says that he applauds the bloodthirsty Bukele. Puff. We're off to a bad start, don't you think? I think those words are proof of everything that is wrong in this world. And watch out, that tweet went viral. Huh? That tweet got 1.3 million views, totally crazy. 11,000 people liked it. I like this. I mean, 11,000 people agree. I want you to understand, for this person, Bukele, a bloodthirsty guy, I mean, a guy who fights organized crime, a guy who puts the mafias where they belong. And honestly, sometimes I think it's not enough because these are people who have ruined lives, who have destroyed families, but Bukele has acted. Interestingly, it's what Mexico needs, what Mexico should do, and that's to fight criminals with a firm hand, with an iron fist. But well, it seems there are many people who like to defend criminals. That's why people call Bukele bloodthirsty. But the cartels, no. Those poor guys should have their rule of law. We're still here, he tells us. Ha ha ha. He still laughs. Since Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador took office until today, we've only seen this kind of event 3 times. The day they caught Ovidio, the Culiacanazo, and now in Jalisco, this person says. Let's see, in Mexico. Innocent people lose their lives every day. Dozens of people disappear daily in Mexico. We've seen the clandestine graves, which is something terrible, something terrifying. Mexico is an extremely unsafe place. This hasn't just happened 3 times since Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador arrived. This happens every day in Mexico. What happens is that many choose to ignore it. Many prefer to look the other way and ignore that this is happening, that this is going on. But of course, it happens every day in Mexico. It's an extremely unsafe country. That's the harsh reality. Every day, small business owners, small entrepreneurs, people who have their own small business are extorted by criminals every day. Imagine that. But according to this, it's only happened 3 times. Let's see. As if that wasn't enough. By the way, because this doesn't happen in other countries, it's very important to make that clear. I mean, in other countries, you don't see crime, organized crime taking total control of the place and doing a complete mess. That doesn't happen in nations. Of course, in some it does, like Syria, for example, like Afghanistan. But, well, we went on for 15 or 16 years. We experienced it almost daily. I mean, are you referring to what Calderon did? No, I mean, it was a terrible situation, what Calderon did. It was something very, very ugly. But when you look at Calderon's numbers, you realize there's a small problem, a small detail, and that's that fewer people were dying. Then when Lopez Obrador was in office, much fewer actually, about half as many people. Careful, watch out. And that happened right in the middle of the war against organized crime. Just imagine, just right now, here, he tells us. And now those who have loudly demanded bullets instead of hugs are shocked. Hypocrites? This person says, huh? But what is he talking about? And here he keeps saying that in no 6-year term, neither Calderon's nor Peña Nieto's did he criticize what happened. Let's see. First, Luisito Comunica was 3 years old during Calderon's term, and second, during Peña Nieto's government for the most part. Luisito Comunica wasn't that famous, he wasn't that well known. Luisito Comunica, let's see, he had some popularity within No Me Revientes Cruel. I mean, more or less. He was somewhat known, but it wasn't until around 2015, no, actually 2016. That's when he started to take off, started to go more viral, you know, because of his travel videos. That's where he started to grow. And it was around 2018 or 2019 when things got crazy and he started to become world famous. I mean, his growth was totally exponential and insane. It was around 2018, precisely the year when Lopez Obrador came to power. So, you can't say, oh, how terrible. How is it possible that Luisito Comunica hasn't talked about this? If he wasn't known, and with Calderon, he was 13 years old, he was a kid. Please, sometimes these people just don't think. It's incredible. But anyway, so it wasn't until the previous 6-year term and this one that he became aware that there are terrible things happening in Mexico. Look, of course, because it was starting from the previous 6-year term. Lopez Obrador's term, that you started to know about him, that you knew he existed. It's that simple and straightforward. Let's see if someone tells him, ha ha ha, you're nonsense. Luisito Comunica is like 1 or 2 years older than me, and during Calderon's 6-year term, I was 12 years old, so don't talk nonsense either. Of course, just imagine, I mean, Luisito Comunica at that time, and a little boy appears, obviously. That's the problem, that it doesn't even cross these people's minds. Sometimes it seems their mind doesn't work right. Well, guys, they really went after Luisito Comunica, just for trying to defend the country a little bit. I mean, to say how terrible, how sad what happened, what organized crime did, and these people, just imagine, they got offended and started saying, how is it possible? This guy who applauds the bloodthirsty Bukele. Let me remind you, for them, Bukele is bloodthirsty, and I think we understand why. Luisito Comunica came out to criticize organized crime, and these people got offended and started attacking Luisito. Incredible, right? Basically, we already know where they stand, as people would say. So, gentlemen, thank you very much and see you next time.